6 months. That is all that is left of this year. 6 months ago you said this was going to be your year. You said it with your chest. You said it like you meant it. You wrote it down. Maybe you even told somebody. And now half the year is gone and you are standing in the exact same place you were standing in January. What happened? Not what went wrong, not what got in the way. What happened to you? Because the time did not disappear. The days came. Every single one of them showed up on time. Monday came. Tuesday came. The alarm went off. The hours were there. The time was there. And somewhere between the version of you that made those promises and the version of you sitting here right now, something broke down. 6 months, 180 days, 4,320 hours, and here we are, halfway through. And the question is not whether the year can still be saved. The question is whether you are willing to save it, because the time is not the problem. The time is still there. You are the problem. And until you face that, nothing changes. This is not about beating yourself up. This is about waking up. There is a difference. Beating yourself up keeps you frozen. Waking up gets you moving. And right now, more than anything else in your life, you need to move. 6 months left. Lock in. Nobody talks about what the halfway point actually does to people. It is the most dangerous moment of the year. Not the beginning, not the end, the middle. Because at the start, you have energy, you have the feeling, you have that fire, and it pushes you. And at the very end, you have urgency. The deadline is close enough to see, and it forces your hand. But the middle, in the middle you have neither. The fire from the start is gone, and the deadline feels far enough away that you can still tell yourself you will handle it later. Later is where dreams go to die. Most people are not lazy. Most people are not lazy. They are stuck in later. They are living in this permanent state of almost started, almost committed, almost locked in. And the weeks keep slipping by, and the gap between who they are and who they said they would be keeps getting wider. Not because they do not want it, because they keep telling themselves they still have time. You still have time, but you do not have forever. Those are two completely different things. 6 months is enough, but only if you treat it like enough. Only if you stop waiting for the perfect moment and start accepting that the moment you are in right now is the only one you actually have. The right time is not coming. It was January. It was last Monday. It was this morning when the alarm went off and you hit snooze. The right time keeps showing up and you keep sending it away. Stop sending it away. The magic you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding. Say that again. The magic you are looking for is in the work you are avoiding, not the work you are almost ready for. Not the work you will do when things calm down. The work you are walking away from right now. That is where it is. That is where the version of you that you keep dreaming about is waiting. And that version has been waiting there for 6 months already. Most people do not fail because they do not have a plan. They fail because they do not protect the plan. Because they let every distraction, every invitation, every comfortable thing pull them off what they said mattered. You say the goal matters, but your calendar does not show that. Your mornings do not show that. The way you spend your evenings does not show that. And what you actually do with your time is the only real record of what you actually care about. Stop lying to yourself about what you care about. Let your behavior tell the truth. There is a version of this year where you look back in December and you feel that specific feeling. The one that comes from knowing you did not leave anything on the table. That you gave these 6 months everything. That you showed up on the hard days and the easy days and the days where nothing seemed to be working. That December is available to you. It is not locked behind some special talent or some lucky break. It is locked behind a decision, a real one. Not the kind you make in a feeling and forget by Thursday. The kind you make once and then back up with your actions every single day after. Make that decision right now. Back it up tomorrow morning. Locking in means you stop being available for everything that does not push you forward. The phone goes down more. The noise gets cut. The conversations that drain you without feeding you get shorter. The nights that cost you your mornings get fewer. The comfort that keeps you stuck gets challenged every single day. You stop showing up to every gathering just because you were invited. You stop explaining yourself to people who do not have the goals you have. You get a little quiet, a little unavailable, a little strange to the people around you who have not made this choice. That is fine. Let them wonder. Locking in is not a feeling. You are not going to feel locked in the way you feel inspired watching something powerful. Locking in is a decision, and then it is a behavior, and then it is a discipline, and then slowly, after enough days of doing it, when you do not want to, it becomes who you are. And once it becomes who you are, the work stops being something you have to force. It just gets done, because that is what that person does. You will always act in line with who you believe you are. So when doing the work becomes who you are, the work gets done. Simple. But it starts with the decision, not the motivation, the decision. Motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. It shows up on a good day and disappears by Wednesday when life gets hard again. You cannot build a life on motivation. You build a life on commitment, on the choice that says, I am doing this regardless. I am showing up regardless, whether I feel it or not, whether the conditions are right or not, whether anybody is watching or not, whether anyone believes in me or not. Champions do daily what everybody else does occasionally. Champions do daily what everybody else does occasionally. The gap between the person you are and the person you want to be is not talent, not luck, not connections or resources or timing. It is the gap between what you do every single day and what the person you want to become does every single day. That is it. That is the whole thing. Close that gap and you close the distance between you and everything you said you wanted. You have been doing it occasionally. Start doing it daily. Something happens at the halfway mark of a year when you are honest with yourself. Really honest. Let it happen. Not the surface level where you say, yeah, I could have worked harder, and then go back to scrolling. The deep kind. The kind where you sit in a quiet room and look at what you actually did with the last 6 months and let it land on you without looking away. Most people avoid that moment. They will do anything not to sit in that room and look at those 6 months with clear eyes, because it confirms things they already knew but did not want to confirm. That the hours were there and they did not use them the way they said they would. That the opportunities knocked and they were too distracted or too scared to answer. That the person who could have been 6 months ahead is the same person sitting here right now, unchanged. The discomfort of that room is the doorway. The people willing to walk through it are the ones who actually change. The people who avoid it stay the same. And they will be sitting in that same room at the end of December asking how the whole year got away from them. Do not be that person. Sit in the room. Look at the last 6 months. Not to punish yourself, not to stay there, but to make a real decision about the next 6. You cannot fix what you will not face. You cannot change where your life is going without being honest about where it has been going. The worst thing that can happen to you in life is not failing at something you tried. The worst thing is not keeping the commitments you make to yourself. Because every time you say you are going to do something and you do not do it, you write something into who you are. You tell yourself without words that your word means nothing, that your promises to yourself are just suggestions, that you are the kind of person who talks a big game but does not show up. Boarding. And then you wonder why you do not believe in yourself. It is not a mystery. You do not believe in yourself because you have not given yourself enough proof to believe in. Proof comes from action, from the small kept promises that stack up over weeks and months until you look in the mirror and see someone who does what they say they are going to do. That is where self-belief actually comes from, not from affirmations, not from thinking positively, from showing up, from doing the thing, from keeping the promise you made to the one person who needed you to keep it, yourself. Start there. Stack the proof. Build the belief by earning it. 6 months is not a small thing. People forget that. They hear 6 months and they think it is not enough. It is enough. 6 months is how long it takes to get into the best shape of your life if show up every day. 6 months is how long it takes to learn something from zero and actually get good at it. 6 months is how long it takes to build something real from nothing if you are all the way in on it. 6 months is long enough to change your money situation, long enough to change your body, long enough to change your mind, long enough to change where your whole life is heading if you stop treating it like a small window. The question is not whether 6 months is enough time. The question is whether you are enough. Whether the version of you that wakes up tomorrow is done playing small and done treating your own life like something to get serious about eventually. There is no eventually. There is now, and what you do with it. Your problem is not your situation. Your problem is not where you were born, or what happened to you, or what you currently have or do not have. Your problem is that you have been living in the gap between knowing and doing. You know what you need to do. You have known it for months, maybe years. The plan is not the problem. The plan exists. The knowing is not the issue. The doing is the issue. Knowing costs nothing. Doing costs something. And what it costs is comfort. What it costs is the familiar shape of your days. What it costs is the version of you that is still figuring it out and not quite ready yet. Because when you lock in, when you actually commit, you have to put down the excuse. You have to let go of the story. And for a lot of people, that story, even though it is a bad story, has become home, has become the reason for everything, the reason they have not started, the reason they are not further, the reason things have not opened up the way they thought they would. Let go of the story. Walk out of that house. The story that says you are not ready yet. Drop it. The story that says you will start when things settle. Drop it. The story that says it is too late or too hard or that people like you do not get to have what you want. Drop all of it. Those stories are not keeping you safe. They are keeping you stuck, and you have been inside them long enough. There is an enemy, and it is not the economy. It is not competition. It is not the people who did not believe in you, or the ones who walked away, or the ones who said it would not work. The enemy is the part of you that wants to be comfortable more than it wants to grow, the part that will water down your standards the moment things get hard, the part that will find a good-sounding reason not to every single time and say it in your own voice so it sounds like wisdom, so it sounds like you are being fair to yourself. It is not being fair to yourself. It is self-sabotage with a friendly face. The inner me, that is the enemy. The inner me. You fight that enemy the same way you fight any real opponent. You do not negotiate with it. You do not sit down and reason with it. You do not give it a single inch, because the moment you give it an inch, it takes everything. The moment you say, okay, just today I will skip. Just this week I will rest. Just this month I will go easy. You have opened a door that is very hard to close because that part of you is patient. It will wait. It will let you feel good about one day off, and then it will make sure the one day becomes two, and the two becomes a week, and before you know it, you are looking at the end of September, wondering where the summer went. Discipline is not having no desire to quit. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when every part of you is hunting for a reason not to. Doing it like you want to, even when you do not. The people building real things right now are not people who never feel like stopping. They are people who stop letting that feeling make the call. They feel the resistance every day, and they go through it every day not because it gets easy, because they decided who they were, and they are not letting one hard morning take that back. You get up, you do the work. Not because you feel like it, because you decided. Nobody tells you what a locked-in season actually looks like from the inside. So, let me tell you, it is uncomfortable in ways you did not see coming. It is lonely. It is the Friday night where everyone else is out somewhere and you are at your desk because you made a promise. It is the morning where your body does not want to move and you move it anyway. It is the stretch where your phone goes quiet because the people who were around for the fun times do not understand why you are suddenly not there. It is the moment where you realize that to become who you want to be, you have to become something of a stranger to who you used to be. That is exactly how it is supposed to feel. Stop fighting it. The person going somewhere is not walking with the crowd. You are walking alone for stretches, long ones sometimes, months sometimes, without much from outside pushing you. And instead of fighting that loneliness or treating it like a sign something is wrong, you have to learn to read it as a sign something is right. Because if everyone around you was cheering, if everyone got it and agreed with it, then what you were doing was normal, and normal is not where you are trying to get. You are trying to get somewhere most people are not willing to go. That place is quiet. That place needs you to be your own crowd, to be the one clapping an empty room, to be in your own corner before anyone else is. And most people cannot carry that. Most people need someone else to validate it first. The likes, the comments, the nod. When those things are not there, they stop. They look at the silence and read it as rejection. Read the silence differently. The silence is concentration. The silence is direction. The silence means you are doing something real enough to demand your full attention. Get used to the silence, because when you come out the other side, and you will come out the other side if you do not quit, you will look back on that quiet as the time when everything was actually being built. Every one of those nights at the desk, every one of those early mornings when you chose the work, every one of those times you chose hard over easy, none of it was wasted. It was stacking. It was becoming the person who's going to be standing in December. Real effort. Not the kind you bring when someone is watching. Not the kind you bring when you feel the wave hit. Toning hår. Tunat de tantin diskmiking. Kiwatam feels, the kind you bring on the ugly Tuesday, the regular day where nothing is firing. The results are not showing yet. You did not sleep right, and you just do not feel like it. Those days are not interruptions to the process. Those days are the process. It is easy to quit. It is genuinely the easiest thing in the world to say, I am done. I am not feeling it today. I will come back to it next week. And what is actually hard, what separates the people who build things from the people who talk about building things, is waking up and saying, yesterday I gave everything I had and nothing I can see came from it. And today I am going to show up and do it again, go harder if I can. That is the real test, not the big moment, the regular day, the one where nobody would know if you skipped, the one where nothing outside is forcing you to go, the day where the only reason to show up is the promise you made to yourself. Keep that promise every single time. Stack those kept promises. They are building something even when you cannot see it. You are not going to break through on the first swing, not the 10th either. But every swing does something. Every day you show up, you are taking a shot at the thing. And the breakthrough does not come from the last swing alone. It comes from everything that came before it. All the invisible work, all the kept promises, all the days you showed up without being forced to. Your next 6 months are those swings. Do not stop. And when you get knocked down, because you will, do not measure yourself by the fall. Measure yourself by how fast you get up, how fast you get out of that zone, because you cannot live there. The year does not stop. The people who are moving right now are getting further while you are sitting in the dirt deciding if you want to try again. Get up, get back, go. Every single time. Something people do at the halfway point of a year that costs them everything. They look at how much time already passed and they use it as a reason not to start. They say there are only 6 months left. What is the point of starting now? By the time anything gets going, it will be December and we will be doing this all over again. That thinking is the most expensive thinking you can have because it sounds sensible. It sounds like being realistic, but it is just fear talking in a calm voice. 6 months from now, you are going to be somewhere. Time passes whether you use it or not. The only question is, which version of you shows up in December? The one that started today and locked in and showed up every day through to the end? Or the one that decided 6 months was not enough to bother and coasted out the year and went back to January with the same promises? The second person has been making that call for years, at every halfway point, every new week, every clean Monday, always deciding it is not quite the right time yet, and they cannot figure out why their life looks the same year after year when they keep wanting things to change. Wanting is not enough. You have to decide and then move. Every real goal has a price, not a maybe price, a real one. You either pay it or you do not get the thing. That is the whole deal. It has always been the deal. The people who are shocked by how hard it is, who thought it would be easier, who expected that wanting it badly enough would somehow lower the cost, those are the people who end up watching someone else build what they were dreaming about. The price is not unfair. The price is the point. If what you want were easy, everyone would have it, which means it would not be worth having. The difficulty is what makes it yours. The sacrifice is what makes it mean something. The more you stop resenting what it costs and just start paying it, the faster everything moves. You are not being crushed. You are being made. Think about this. At the end of a life, people do not regret the mistakes they made while trying. People can live with mistakes. What they cannot live with is the tries that never happened, the dream they kept in their pocket and never showed the world, the edge they stood on and never jumped from, the version of themselves they could have become if they had just given it everything instead of saving it for some safer future that never came. You still have the chance to answer that question differently, not the old version of you looking back, the version of you alive right now with 6 months on the clock, with something still in the body, with the dream still somewhere inside, quietly waiting for you to stop putting it off. You have enough time. You have enough in you. What has been missing is the decision to stop holding back. The most capable people do not believe in themselves enough. That is the truth. A lack of confidence has killed more dreams than a lack of skill ever did. Not ability, not resources, confidence, the belief that you are the specific kind of person who can do this specific thing. And that belief does not come from waiting for it to arrive. It comes from building proof through action. You want to believe in yourself, do something. Keep one small promise. Show up when you did not feel like it, and then notice that you did. Let that count. Stack it on the last one. Watch what happens to the way you see yourself when you have 60 days of that stacked up. Self-belief is overrated. Build the proof.
The year is not over.
The year is not over. You have 6 months, 180 days. You still have time to make this the year you said it was going to be. This year, not next year, this one that is still going right now while you are sitting here. But it needs a decision, not tomorrow, now. The decision that the next 6 months look different from the last 6. That you are going to stop being the person who knows what to do and start being the person who does it. That your word to yourself means something, and your commitment to yourself is not based on how you feel when you wake up. Right now, there is something you have been circling. Maybe one thing, maybe a few, something you know needs to happen. Something you have been almost ready to go after for months. And deep down, you know that if you just committed, just went all the way in, it would change everything. Not maybe, you know it. The knowing has been sitting in you for months already. Stop circling, go straight at it. The tree falls the way it leans. Watch which way you lean over the next 6 months, because what you give your attention to is where your life goes, not where you hope it goes, not where you imagine it going someday, where it actually goes based on what you do when you wake up tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. Which way are you leaning? There is a version of you that exists at the end of this year, December, looking back. That version either looks back on this stretch as the time everything shifted, the time you finally locked in, the time you stopped pretending to be serious and started actually being serious, the time the gap between who you were and who you said you wanted to be started closing for real. Or that version looks back and sees 6 more months that went the same way the first 6 did. You decide which one shows up in December. That decision is happening right now in what you do tonight, what you choose tomorrow morning, what you protect this week. You do not need to fix everything at once. You do not need it all figured out before you start. You do not need to be the finished version of yourself before you take the first step. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Start imperfect. Start scared. Start even if it feels late, but start. How much longer are you going to avoid what you are capable of doing just to keep doing what is comfortable? Sit with that, because it might be the thing that finally breaks something open, the thing that makes you see that you are the one in the way. Not life, not timing, not other people, you. And the second that actually lands, the second you feel it and not just think it, you become someone different. Because if you are the problem, you are also the answer. And there is no stronger place to stand than that. Your feelings are not always yours to choose. Your actions always are. What you do with the next 180 days is a choice being made right now, whether you treat it like a choice or not. Mild Yerndom, the year is not lost. It is waiting. It is waiting for you to stop waiting. Lock in. Go. What happens when you do not lock in? Not in some distant future, right now, today. Because the cost of not locking in is not paid in December. It is paid every day in small amounts that are easy to miss. Every morning you wake up and move through the day without a real commitment to where you are going, you pay a little, not in money, in something harder to get back, in momentum, in the quiet knowing that another day passed and you were there for it, but not in the way that counts. You were present in body, but gone in intention. And that gap between being present and being locked in is where most lives actually get lived, not in some dramatic collapse, in quiet drift. Drift is the thing you never see coming because it does not show up as failure. It shows up as normal. It feels like being flexible, being reasonable, not being too hard on yourself. And all of that sounds fine until those things become the permanent state, until they become the reason you never go all the way in on anything. Then they are not being kind to yourself. They are the slow leak in the tire. You do not notice it until you are pulled over on the side of the road wondering how you got there. You have been drifting. Time to lock the wheel. Locking in for 6 months means treating this as a season, not your whole life. A season. 6 months from now it is December, and in December you will see what this season produced. But seasons need you to actually be in them to show up for what that season asks. A farmer in planting season does not wait for perfect conditions. He plants in the conditions he has because the season moves whether he moves with it or not. He cannot plant in December what he was supposed to plant in summer and expect the same crop. This is your planting season. Right now, these 6 months, what you plant right now in effort and commitment and kept promises is what you harvest in December and January and the months after. The harvest at the end of this year will not come from what you wished you had done. It comes directly from what you actually did. From the mornings you got up, from the work you put in when nobody was watching, from the sessions where you showed up even when the results were not showing. Plant hard in these 6 months. Give it everything. because the results do not come when you expect them. You can plant all season and see very little, and then one day, all of a sudden, everything breaks open. Not slowly, fast. The work was always compounding. It was just invisible until it was not. And the people who give up at month 4, at month 5, right before it happens, never find out what they planted was about to become. Do not give up at month 4. Do not give up at month 5. Every goal you have ever heard of was built by someone who refused to stop right before the thing happened. Jordan got cut from the team. Oprah got fired. Disney was told he had no imagination. Every single one of them had a moment where stopping was the reasonable call, where everything outside was saying you are wrong about yourself. They were not wrong. You are not wrong about yourself either. Let they Mona wiping. That voice that says you can do more than this, that pull towards something bigger than where you are, it is real, and it is not going to get louder while you ignore it. It is going to get quieter, and one day it will go silent. And that silence, the silence of something that gave up waiting for you, is the loneliest silence there is. Do not let it go silent. Feed it. Feed it with 6 months of work. One more thing before we close. There is no version of real change that does not ask something from you. None. That is not a dark thought. That is the most freeing thing there is. Because once you stop waiting for the day when growing stops costing something, you stop fighting the cost and you just start paying it. And the paying becomes part of it instead of the reason to wait. The people you respect did not get where they are because things went easy. They got there because they decided the discomfort was worth it, because they chose the pain of showing up over the pain of looking back. And that is a real choice made every day, not in some big dramatic moment, in the 5 seconds after the alarm goes off, in the moment between picking up the phone and picking up the work, in the space between quitting and going one more round. That space is where your life gets decided. Not in the big moments, in those small, invisible spaces that show up dozens of times every day. And right now, those spaces are mostly going the wrong way. That is okay. What matters is which way they go starting tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the goal gets your first hour. Tomorrow night gets protected. The phone stops running your attention. Tomorrow, you show up. Tomorrow, you are the version of yourself that the person you are becoming would recognize. Tomorrow, decided right now. 6 months left, 180 days. Every single one of them a chance to be exactly who you said you were going to be. Lock in. Go all the way. Do not look back. You know what actually kills people's years? Not one big failure, not some catastrophic thing that knocks them sideways. The year gets killed by 100 small surrenders that never even felt like surrenders. The snooze button hit on a Wednesday. The workout skipped because the afternoon felt long. The thing you were supposed to write that got pushed because you were tired. The call you were going to make that got put off till tomorrow. None of those things feel like they matter in the moment. Each one feels like nothing, a one-time thing, a small pass you are giving yourself because you deserve it. But those small passes add up, and by the time you add them all up across 6 months, they are the whole story of why nothing moved. The people who actually build things in a year, the ones you see in December and think, man, how did they do all that? They are not people with more hours. They do not have a different Monday than you do. They just stopped giving themselves small passes. They stopped treating their own promises to themselves like they were optional. They got hard on the one thing that was always going to be in the way, themselves. Get hard on yourself, not cruel, hard. There is a difference. Cruel means you beat yourself up for what already happened. Hard means you do not let it happen again tomorrow. Hard means you look at the excuse forming in your mouth and you close your mouth. Hard means you get up when everything in you is saying, wait. Hard means you show up even when the version of you that showed up that day is not the best version. Even a bad day of showing up beats a great day of not going. Show up even on the bad days. Belasnofish, oevkamstus, eapimstus, ilhans, miambachait, belachabishing the beefskust, itsuraunindu. Monaraportats, winpengda beefs, miampemsa beefs, belashja orninda, not in rhetorical one, a real one. If you knew that the version of you who actually locked in for the next 6 months would look back at this exact moment, this day, this decision, as the turning point, would you do something differently today? If you knew that the locked-in version of December you was watching this moment and waiting to see what you did next, would that change anything? Because that version is real. That version exists. Every choice you make in the next 180 days is either building that person or delaying them. And that person has been delayed long enough. People talk about waiting for the right sign, waiting for the thing that finally clicks, the moment of clarity that makes it all obvious. And sometimes that moment comes, but most of the time the clarity does not come before the action. It comes because of the action. You do not figure it out and then start. You start and then it figures itself out. The path does not appear until you are walking it. And the people sitting still, waiting for the path to show up first, are going to be sitting in that same spot forever. Start walking. The path will show. You are one decision away from a completely different 6 months. One, not 10 decisions, not a whole system overhaul. One real decision made today and then defended tomorrow and the day after. That is it. That is what the gap between where you are and where you want to be actually comes down to. One choice treated seriously, backed up with action, and protected from every comfortable thing trying to talk you out of it. Make that one decision, then go protect it like something that matters, because it does matter. You matter. The thing you are building matters. The version of you sitting in December with something real to show for these 6 months, that matters. Not to anyone else, to you, and to the people whose lives are quietly affected by whether you showed up for yours. Lock in. Not for the likes, not for the validation, not because someone is watching. Lock in because you told yourself you would, and your word to yourself is the only one that is going to be there at the end of this when it is quiet and it is December and you are looking at what got built. 6 months left. Every day counts. Lock in. And when it gets hard, because it will get hard, when the week beats you up and the results are not there and everything in you is saying, just take a break, just slow down, just give yourself some room, remember this. The people who end up with something real in December are not the people who had better weeks than you. They are the people who had the same bad weeks and showed up anyway. They had the same doubts, the same days where it did not seem like it was working, the same quiet stretches where nobody was cheering and the numbers were not moving and the whole thing felt like it might just be fooling themselves, and they went again the next morning. That is the whole secret. There is no other secret. You go again and again. And you do not stop going until December gets here and you look at what got built and you know, without needing anyone to tell you, that you did not waste these 6 months. 6 months left. Go again tomorrow. Go again the day after. Lock in.